Hi, this is Greg Johnson with resourcesforlife.com, and this is a short video. It is part of a series of videos on weight loss, and the topic of this short video is micro-fasting. And micro-fasting is something that just about everybody can do. What micro-fasting means is that you'll fast for short periods of time, even at that moment just before you eat when you're really hungry. If you'll try waiting for 10 more minutes, not eating for 10 more minutes and then eating, that's micro-fasting. It's at that moment when you're really famished and you want to eat. So it builds up that strength of what's almost like a muscle, which is your ability to have self-control. And anyway, it's a really good practice to establish. Now, another aspect of micro-fasting is, rather than fasting from everything, which is traditionally what you think of when somebody says fasting, instead of fasting from everything, what you do is just fast from a few foods. Maybe carbonated drinks, soda, or chips. Some of these things that don't really offer any nutritional value, they only increase your caloric intake during the day. So it's not like you've got to fast from everything, but pick a few things that you think you can live without for a little while, or maybe for a lifetime if you think you can do it. So that's another aspect of micro-fasting. Now, you may have heard the saying, diets don't work. That's been really popular lately. And of course, that saying is often repeated by people trying to sell you their version of a diet program, but they've spun it in a way where it doesn't sound like a diet program. Well, the fact is that diets do work, and that's the only thing that does work. And let me explain. By dieting, what I mean is that, as I mentioned in a previous video, you have a certain daily budget of calories. You can't go over that. If you go over that, you're going to gain weight. If you meet it, your weight will stay the same. If you come in under budget, under your calorie budget, well then you're going to lose weight. I mean, it's that simple. So dieting is about, sort of ultimately what dieting is about, is not so much eating only grapefruit or something like that. You have heard probably of these diets. Those are fads and those are not nutritionally sound. But if what we mean by dieting is just cutting back a little, that's basically what is sort of the only solution to weight loss. So I like to reinforce that people give some thought to the fact that dieting does work, diets do work, if what you mean by dieting is cutting back. One of the challenges in cutting back on your caloric intake is to ensure that you're getting the nutritional, you're meeting your body's nutritional needs. And the reason it's hard is, if you give yourself a budget of, let's say, 2,000 calories a day, maybe that's what you burn every day, and you could eat 2,000 calories a day and your weight will stay the same. You've got a little wiggle room in there, if you happen to have a bag of chips or a piece of pizza or whatever, it doesn't matter. Or let's just say a can of pop. Something that doesn't offer you any nutritional value, only increases your caloric intake. It doesn't matter so much because you have this budget of 2,000 calories, and that's quite a bit of calories to work with. But if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to come in, let's say, 200 calories or 500 calories under your daily allotment, well, then it becomes more challenging, because what you're going to try to do is meet all of your nutritional needs in a very small number of calories, okay? So that's why people who are, and I'm going to say the D word, people who are on a diet, they do need to cut back on their calories. That's the whole point of weight loss. But you need to be really careful then about what you're eating. Much more careful than somebody who's not on a diet, or somebody who's gaining weight is probably, if they're eating fairly well, probably meeting a lot of their nutritional requirements, So anyway, those are the 3 points. Micro-fasting is a good practice to be involved in. Micro-fasting can mean fasting for half a day or just a period of time when you're really hungry. You're building up your stamina, your endurance, your discipline, your self-control. And then considering just dropping some foods from your diet. If you're eating a lot of cheese, or you're eating a lot of chips, or you're eating a lot of, or drinking a lot of pop, let's say, or every day you're having a couple of mocha lattes or whatever, whatever that thing is that's adding like 300, 400, 500 calories a day to your diet, just consider dropping it and see how that goes, and consider that as kind of a new lifestyle for yourself. Because ultimately you can't sustain that. You can't sustain ongoing eating something. It's like somebody who, with their finances, has a gambling addiction. They're going to be out spending, let's say, $500 a month on gambling, losing it, not paying their bills. Well, that's going to create a financial problem. It's going to put them into debt. If you have some habit that you're eating or drinking or otherwise consuming something that has a huge number of calories, doesn't offer you any nutritional value, that's the equivalent of the gambler. You know, you've got something that's in your diet that's chewing up a huge number of your caloric allowance and not offering you anything. And you need to get rid of that and focus on, you know, what works and what offers you the nutrition that you need. So anyway, I hope this video has been helpful, and look forward to your feedback and comments and suggestions in the future. Thanks.